Recording in progress.
Good morning. Good morning. I won't sing to you, I promise. We're gonna jump right into it today. I had wanted to do just a little Q&A today, but I decided at the last minute that we weren't gonna do a Q&A. We were going to talk about something completely different. Um, we have been diving into Solomonic magic in the last few months, but I'm finding that there are a lot of people that have not been able to either go back through some of the beginner classes and so on. And being that as I'm filming this, tomorrow is not only Imbolc, but which is the basically the first pagan holiday of the year. But it's also a full moon, and a very powerful full moon at that. And being that tomorrow is also a number 4, numerologically, that is foundations. So I was like, it's time for us to go back just real quick and do a refresher class on the full moon, because it seems to be coming up again that people are not understanding or getting confused with all of the miscommunication and misinformation out there about the full moon. So today we're going to talk about the ultimate power of the full moon and why you should be paying attention to each one of them in their different forms, in their different zodiacs, in the different times of year, and why they are so important for you as somebody in the magical universe. The full moon is the most widely recognized lunar phase. Like, it just is. Everybody knows what a full moon is. You can't miss it. It illuminates everything. Even if it's completely cloud covered overhead, it's still bright outside because you have that illumination. And it is the most utilized phase in any magical practice when it comes to moon magic. But I think that people don't understand what the full moon is actually for. They hear full moon and they automatically think manifestation. They don't think about any of the other things that go with it. And just like everything, the full moon has a good meaning, it has a bad meaning, it has good uses, it has bad uses. So we're going to talk about all of that today. You guys need to realize at the base of all of the full moon magic is the fact that a full moon only occurs when the moon is completely illuminated by the sun's light. And you learned that in what grade school? Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, whenever you learned it. You learned it in grade school. One of the first things you learned as a kid. This energy of the sun projecting onto the moon and it shining back down on the earth like a mirror is all about illumination, amplification, but it's also about completion and release, because the full moon is the top of the lunar cycle. If the new moon is the bottom, then the full moon is the top, and you go like this and then you go back down, and it's a cycle. Spiritually, magically, the full moon is associated with a lot of different things. Of course, manifestation. Of course, power. Of course, visibility. But it's also associated with a very heightened intuition. It's also associated with your spiritual gifts and abilities being through the roof. This is why a lot of people feel more connected to the full moon than anything else. That's why a lot of people want to go outside and enjoy the full moon, because that is your own gifts and abilities getting an amplification, whether you like it or not. This is also a big time of emotional clarity. And I don't know about y'all, but before the last couple of days with this full moon coming up tomorrow, as I film this, let me say that, because some people watching this years down the road are gonna be like, it ain't a full moon tomorrow, bitch. As I'm filming this, I have had a lot of emotional revelations over the last few days. Some of them were really big. Some of them were really little. Some of them were great. I needed to hear it. And some of them I was like, okay, ouch. I don't like it. The full moon is also truth coming to the surface. We talked about emotional clarity, but truth coming to the surface. And I want you to let that sink in. And those of you guys that practice any type of chaos witchery, when I said this is the truth coming to the surface, you went, ho, ho, ho. Like that pinged something in your wonderful little chaotic witch brain. But the full moon is also closure, release. It is the end of a cycle. As I mentioned, the new moon's here, the full moon's here. So now this is the end of a cycle. And I want you to think of the full moon as like a humongous spiritual cosmic spotlight. Whatever you put under it is going to glow. It's going to glow brighter. When it comes to your personal magical practice, the full moon is about results. New moon is beginnings. Full moon is results. If the new moon is the starting line, then the full moon is the finish line. This is where you get the medal. This is a great time for charging, and we all know about moon water, and we all know about putting your crystals out. We all know about putting your divination tools out. It's a phenomenal time to charge anything, good or bad. If you have tools you use for bad shit, this is also a good time to charge them up, because just like your good shit, you need to charge the other stuff up too. If you have wards and protections and you know, and if you don't know, people throw shit at people all the time because they think they can because of the rise of witch talk. People throw bullshit all the time. So if you are not charging up your wards, your protections, your items that you utilize to protect your family, yourself, etc., then you need to be. Even if it's just setting some moon water out, maybe you can't take all your wards outside or get them to where they can, see the moonlight or whatever. Taking some moon water, setting some moon water aside specifically for charging up warding, protections, your baneful working items, etc., and then putting a dot of moon water on it will charge it up. Everybody also knows that this is a great time for manifestation. It brings your intuitions to fruition. It makes those things actually start to happen. But there are so many other things that you guys need to know about. And as a beginner or intermediate or whatever level you are, if you are not harnessing the power of the full moon, and let's face it, we all get spiritually lazy. I am really, really bad about it sometimes because I'm like, it's cold outside, I don't want to go out there, or it's too hot, I don't want to go out there, or oh shit, I forgot, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I don't do it tomorrow. We all do that. So please don't think that I'm like, oh my God, you. We all do it, okay? But it's great for release work. This is the top of the cycle, and from here we go back down. This is a time of release. This is a great time to let go of habits, a great time to let go of emotions. This is why a lot of emotional clarity happens during a full moon. The other thing that it is great for is letting go of people. Letting go of people. The people in your life that are shit. The people in your life that no longer need to be there. The people in your life that maybe your spiritual path is going here and theirs is going here. This is a good time to let go of people. It's also a great time for you to set up protections and wardings. Because when I mentioned, boosting your protections and wardings and charging them up, if you went, oh, I need to do that, this is a good time. The full moon is a phenomenal time to do that. Because this is not only you putting them up and then charging them later, this is you putting them up at the height of charging. So if you need to redo your wardings, if you need to add more, if you need to redo protections, add more. The full moon is the time you do that. This is also a great time to do divination, especially for a big problem. And I don't mean just, does Johnny love me? No. I mean, the fuck am I going with my life? What path do I need to take this year? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to look for another job? Do I need to move? Do I need to... Big questions. I'm not saying that if Johnny doesn't love you, is that not a big question? It is. But that's lower on the totem pole than all of this other stuff. Full moon divination is about ultimate clarity. Spiritual clarity. Truth seeking. Finding out what actually is in a situation. It's also a good time for spirit communication because of this divination. think of this like a mini veil crossing. Every time there's a full moon, it's much easier for ancestors, spirit guides, spirit court, guardian angels, all of those things to go back and forth. The path is illuminated for them. The full moon amplifies literally everything that it touches. Even if it's just the energy that sinks around a corner and into a basement, it's still a full moon. One of the questions I see people all the time ask on social media and so on is, well, what if it's cloudy where I'm at? It doesn't matter. It is still a full moon. What if it's rainy where I'm at? It doesn't matter. It still is a full moon, and you better totally catch some of that rainwater. Well, what if I can't get outside? It doesn't matter. It's still a full moon. The energy is energy is energy. It does not change just because you can't see it. Just like eclipse energy, it does not change just because you can't see it. It also amplifies emotions. It amplifies your spiritual self, but it amplifies emotions. So before you do anything for the full moon, before you harness any of that power, you have to make sure that you have grounded yourself. You have to make sure that you firmly have both feet on the ground, mentally as well as physically. Because when emotions get big, it's really hard for you to calm them down. And if you have big emotions during a ritual, during warding, during protection, during anything, with the full moon, those are going to be amplified. And you run the risk of fucking up whatever it is that you're doing during this full moon. So I want to go over real quick the meanings of each full moon by the month. Now, I have seen people that, I'm going to try to say this nicely. For example, as I'm filming this, tomorrow is the new moon, or the full moon, the full moon in Leo. And I said that the other day on a live stream, and someone argued with me. No, it's the snow moon. It is both. Every single month has a different name for that full moon. Has nothing to do with what zodiac sign it sits in. The zodiac sign is going to change every single month. And just because this is Aquarius season does not mean this is an Aquarius full moon. This full moon happens to be in Leo, which is directly opposite in the zodiac from Aquarius. This has happened since Cancer last year, and the full moon was in Capricorn. We have been in the opposing zodiac sign with the full moon every single month so far, and they have been some of the most intense full moons that we've had. If you guys think back to this last summer, these full moons have been really intense. So we're going to go through what each full moon means in each month. We are going to start with January, even though I'm filming this in February, but January is the wolf moon. And January is all about survival, protection, endurance, the pack, community, taking care of yours, your tribe, etc. February is the snow moon, and this is all about shadow work. It's all about patience, inner peace, because if you think about it, in January, that's when the wolves are really on the hunt, trying to get all of the food in so they can survive the next couple of months. In February, that's when you're hunkered down, because it's gross outside. It's cold, it's shitty, and it's snowy, and you don't want to go out there. This is also a time when you're stuck inside. What do? You think. So this is a time of shadow work. March is the worm moon. I've always thought that was the weirdest name, but whatever. It's the worm moon. And this is all about rebirth, awakening, because what happens in March? Spring. The spring equinox happens. So this is the earth coming back alive. Flowers, trees, all of those things, bugs coming back alive. Wow, my Oklahoma came out. Bugs. April is the pink moon. Now, there are other names for them as well, okay? Every single moon, depending on who you're talking to, where you're at, all have other names. But April is also the pink moon, and this is a moon for love and healing and emotional renewal and all of those mushy, gross things that we all want to vomit a little bit about. May is the flower moon. This is beauty, abundance, attraction magic, growth. This is a great time for prosperity workings. Just like April is a great time. I didn't mean to roll my eyes. That was loud. April is a great time for love workings. June is the strawberry moon. This is relationships, joy, the sweetness of life. And June is when some of the first fruit starts to come out. Strawberries, blueberries, things like that. The first parts of those berries and fruit starts to come out. July is the buck moon. And what's interesting about the July moon is that this moon is all about personal power. And no matter where you live and what temperature it is in July, July is always a power month for everybody. It's insane. It's always a power month. But this is personal power. It's confidence. It's stepping back into your own passion and your own strength. August is the sturgeon moon. If y'all have never seen what a sturgeon looks like, you should. They're a weird fish. They're just a weird fish. But this is all about wisdom, spiritual maturity, because you've gone through the spring, the growth, and you've gone through the summer, which is power, and now you're about to step into fall, right? So this is spiritual maturity. But August is also manifestation. The sturgeon moon is also major manifestation. So if you think about that, coupled with what the full moon already means, do you see how you need to be utilizing these full moons and their meanings? September is the harvest moon. This is about completion. It's about the harvest, reaping the rewards of everything you've done for the year. It's also about gratitude. And this is the thing that people forget the most, because in September, we also have the fall equinox. Harvest without gratitude is like taking a gift without saying thank you. You have to have some kind of gratitude in there to the universe, because the universe notices this shit. October is a hunter's moon, and this is the biggest ancestral moon that there is the one in October. Preparation, protection, getting ready for the upcoming winter, etc. November is the beaver moon, and this is all about home, boundaries, the hearth, protecting what is yours, long-term stability. It's a great time for like job manifestation, all of that. December is the cold moon, and this is a time of stillness, of rest, of reflection, of just being still and listening. The reason that you guys need to know what each one of those means is that it's not just the name that's important. It's not just what's done, what the meaning is, what you do during that full moon that's important. You need to feel those aspects of that full moon. So for example, tomorrow is the February moon. This is the snow moon. Nobody likes to hear that it's time to do shadow work. I tried not to roll my eyes with that. Nobody likes to hear that it's time to do shadow work. But that's what the February full moon is about. Inner strength, patience, shadow work, and inner growth. And it's a very powerful one. And the fact that the one tomorrow falls in Leo, that's a very powerful sign, especially when it comes to inner strength. Leo the lion, that is inner strength. Leo is one of the strongest signs of the zodiac, especially outwardly, because of everything associated with that. But that's a whole other class, so we don't want to get into zodiacs, because I'm going to go sideways off the rails, and we don't want to go down that train track yet. So how do you harness the full moon at home? I love to hate on TikTok and social media where people are like, here's a laundry list of things you need to go buy. You don't have to buy shit. You don't have to buy shit. You have everything you need at home to harness the power of any of the full moons. Now, if you want to go buy something special, if you have the extra money to go buy something special, cool. But you don't have to. My recommendation is to find something you already have and dedicate that as a specific full moon, ritual piece, whether it's a crystal, whether it's a water container, whatever it is. Just going out in the full moon, or just looking at it through the window for 5-10 minutes, just sitting in it. That right there is one of the most powerful ways to harness the full moon. It is one of the most powerful ways that you can harness the full moon. Just sit there and breathe. That's it. Just sit there and breathe. Pay attention to what thoughts pop into your mind. Write them down if you need to. Have your notebook out. Have your notepad on your phone out. Whatever. voice record. Just let those thoughts come in and pay attention to what they are. Pay attention to what they revolve around. You can dissect it later. Just let the thoughts come. Knowing what each full moon is for will help you with that. The February full moon, all about shadow work. What kind of deep emotions are coming up as you're sitting in this full moonlight? Full moon water is the next easiest thing you can do. You don't have to have a special container for this. And people get too caught up in, well, how do I make moon water? You put water outside. That's it. You put water outside. If you can't put it outside, put it on a windowsill where it can get the moonlight. That's it. You don't have to have a special container. You don't have to have special water. You don't have to have a special recipe. Can you? Yes. Can you have a really cool bougie ass container? You bet. Can you have a whole recipe? You bet. Can you make moon tea? You bet. Can you make moon pickles? You bet. But you know what? You can also just put a damn glass of water on the windowsill. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You do want to use it within 1 to 3 days. Unless you have it sealed. Like I put bottles of water outside. Especially when it's a very powerful moon like today, I will put a case of water outside because like I mentioned, the full moon in February this year in 2026 not only falls on Imbolc, but it also is a number 4 numerologically. This is foundations for building your next year. These are great not just for drinking. Put some in your bath water. Put some in your cleansing stuff. If you mop your floors, put some in your floor mopping. You can take just a little spray bottle from the Dollar Tree, spritz some all over your carpet. I mean, you don't have to soak your carpet, but spritz some on your carpet. Add a little salt in there. Perfect. This is also a great time during any full moon to do a release ritual. Just write down what it is that you need to go bye-bye out of your life. You can read it out loud. You can tear it up. You can burn it. You can trash it. You can flush it. Well, maybe don't flush it down the toilet because you might stop up your pipes. But you know what I mean. Get rid of it. The act of getting rid of it is going to help you see, okay, that is no longer something that I own. If you have an intense aspect of self-doubt and you know that you need to get rid of that, burn it. Write it down. Burn it. I am not good enough. I have terrible self-doubt. Burn that shit. Watch it burn to ash. Rip it up. Throw it in the trash. Charging objects. That's another easy thing you can do. You don't have to set everything you own out on the balcony or outside on your porch or out in your front yard. I mean, unless you want to. You can also put things on the windowsills. They don't have to go physically outside. You can put them on the windowsills. I am not a big journaling person, but I know a lot of people are. And this is also a great time to do a lot of journaling, especially with the shadow work moons. The inner work moons, period. Do some shadow work prompts. What feels like it completed in your life right now? What is upcoming? What are you ready to have happen? What are you going to let go of? What do you need to let go of out of your life? What truth has just come into focus? Who showed their true colors? Those kind of shadow work prompts. The next thing I want to talk about is safety and grounding as well. And people are like, wait a minute, it's a full moon. Because we're also going to talk about some baneful workings after this. Because the full moon amplifies all of that energy, you definitely need to eat something after you do any type of full moon work. Even if it's drinking some of your moon water. You want to eat something afterwards. Even if it's just a couple of crackers. You don't have to go have a 9-course meal after it. You can have a $1 bowl of ramen. Whatever. You just need to eat something after it. You also want to wash your hands. Wash your hands, your face, and your feet. A shower is best, but if you only can do one thing or whatever, wash your hands. Wash your hands. This is the full moon is you letting go. You did your ritual, you put your crystals on the windowsill, and now you are going to wash your hands because whatever that crystal had on it that you're wanting to charge up, you're wanting to cleanse, etc. Now you're going to wash your hands, so when you pick that back up later, you're not re-adding that same shit right back to it. You're not re-adding whatever right back to it. Washing your hands is also symbolic of cleansing something off of you. There's a reason that you see spiritual people do that. I do it all the time. When I am completely done with something, especially spiritually, and then also when I'm done with a ritual, whatever. Notice I did that 3 times. Done. You also want to avoid a lot of really big, heavy spell work if you're overwhelmed on a full moon, because it will only amplify it. So if you right now have a ton of stress going on in your life, this is not the time to do any kind of manifestation. Let's say that you are super stressed about your job and about money. You want to be very careful and make sure that you can calm your ass down before you try to do a manifestation about money or income or job. Because if you're stressed about losing your job and you're doing a working to keep your job, but all underneath that is stress that you're going to lose that job, guess what just went into that manifestation? And then you're going to wonder why that manifestation didn't work. Why did you lose your job? Because you put all that stress into that working. Things like that. You also don't want to work from a place of desperation. If you're really, really terrified your company is going to lay people off, if you're really, really terrified that you're going to lose your job, then, I mean like that inner fear, like you're panicking, this is not the time to do any type of working. Don't work from a place of anger. Don't work from a place of desperation. All magic works best when you're clear, when you're calm, and when you work intentionally. This is why I am glad that with the rise of witch talk on social media and the rise of witches and stuff on Instagram and YouTube and so on, you can find so many people that can do workings for you. If you're super upset about losing a relationship, that is not the time for you to do a cord cutting. You don't need to do that cord cutting. You need to pay someone to do it for you that is removed from the situation. If you just lost your job, or your spouse just lost their job or whatever, and you're terrified about money and bills, and you want to do a manifestation working because y'all need another, someone needs another job ASAP, that is not for you to do that. Spend a little bit of money and have someone do it for you because they are calm and collected and they are not in the situation that you're in. They're going to have more energy, more effort to put into that working, and you will not have your stress and your anxiety and your fear going into it. I want to talk a little bit about some baneful workings that you can do on the full moon. You have to be careful with these. Okay, that is the first caveat. You have to be careful with them. One of my favorite times to do baneful workings is during a new moon. However, if you are petty, then the full moon will be your favorite time. The full moon is illumination. The full moon is a grand time to do a mirror spell, to do a return to sender spell. You are amplifying that illumination. If you need to find out who is sending you bullshit, this is a great time for you to do a mirror spell, a truth revealing spell. And all it takes is a fucking birthday candle and a mirror. That's it. You can use your bathroom mirror. Doesn't matter. My advice, however, is take your butt to the Dollar Tree and get a little teeny tiny mirror. I don't care if it's a compact mirror. And dedicate it only to use for this. Charge that little shit up in the full moonlight. And use that. Compact mirrors are also great because if you can find one with a mirror on both sides, then you can set it on its side like a V and put the candle in the middle and it reflects always. It also makes a triangle, like just saying. That's a little advanced aspect, but I'm just saying it is great and glorious. It's a great time for you to do a mirror spell. It's a great time for you to do a return to sender spell because that's amplified. If you know that someone has been fucking with you hardcore, and you have been kind of biding your time, you know, like, well, I don't really want to do anything, like, we'll just let that, whatever they're, just feel whatever they feel like they need to do. Well, maybe you finally get fed up. Wait till the full moon. Wait till the full moon. And notice what each full moon is for and what the full moon coming up is for. Maybe they have been fucking with your relationship and it's about to be a full moon that's all about love and relationships. I'm just saying what I'm saying. The other thing that I love to do on a full moon, especially if I want to be Marjorie Tyrell from Game of Thrones and I want Cersei to know it was me, this is a great time to do baneful workings when you want the person to know that it was you. If they have been fucking with you, if they've been doing a lot of shit, if they're just a piece of shit, whatever the hell reason it is, and you want them to know that it was you that did this, this is a great time for it. I just want you to keep in mind that anything baneful you do is going to be amplified. So you have to make sure that you put those safety things in there, that this spell, this working, only goes to that person and does not harm innocent people around them. And the way you do this is if you're doing a candle, their name goes on the bottom of it. If you do a layout, a grid or whatever, their name goes underneath it. But you need to put that safety aspect on there, that boundary, that no innocent person, that this does not splash out to any innocent person. And the reason that I say innocent person is because you never know in their camp who is on board with them doing the shit. If you're curious who else has been doing the shit, then just say, I don't want any other innocent people for it to splash out to them, and watch who it hits. But I want to remind you one more time that this is not a time to do things that operate off an intense amount of emotion. If you know that somebody has been throwing things at you, maybe they've put out a video, maybe they've told you, maybe they've whatever, sent pictures to someone else or whatever. I'm pretty sure that was an orb that just flew by. This is not the time to act on emotions. Have someone else do it for you, or bide your time and wait until the right full moon. Because I guarantee you that the vast majority of people that throw shit at people and do it in a public sense, they're not thinking through the time, the moon phase, the rituals, all of those things. They're throwing it willy-nilly. Bide your time and wait until the proper full moon, until the proper phase, until all of that stuff. I promise you your magic will be 900 times stronger than it ever was and than theirs is. So kind of in closing this class, I want to just give you a few little reminders, okay? The full moon is not about perfection. And I know a lot of people do, they put the Pinterest posts up, you know, about this glorious full moon aspect. It's not about perfection. It's not about making sure that you have the most of the most things. It is about presence. It's about being present in the moment with the full moon shining on your face. You don't have to do everything. If you know that your night tonight, your day tomorrow, and the day after the full moon are going to be hectic, and you might only get a couple of your crystals out, or maybe your favorite ring you wear every day, or maybe you can step outside for 30 seconds or something, that is enough. That is enough. You don't have to do everything. If you don't get full moon water out, that's fine. I always joke, I'm going to take your gold star away. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Do you think that there are months that I don't get full moon water out? Yeah, a lot. You don't have to do it right. There is no right way to do it. There is a reason that witchcraft and folk magic is called a practice. It is your practice. You now know the names of the full moons. You now know what they're for. You now know some of the things that you can do and should do with them. And now it is your practice. It's your practice. You only have to show up honestly for a full moon. You don't have to come in ritual garb and full makeup and all that. Do you feel more magical when you do that? Of course you do. But you don't have to. Some of my most powerful, in touch with my spiritual self, full moons that have ever been are me sitting in my backyard by a fire pit with a cigar, upset as fuck about something that didn't matter later on, just sitting there, having a pity party, or pouting, or just staring into the fire. Those are some of the most powerful times because you just show up honestly. Don't stress about being perfect. Don't stress about all of that. Start to build it into your practice. Start to teach your kids how to do it. The moon has been around for millions of years at this point. It's been watching humans for tens of thousands of years. It's been watching animals, the earth, plants, the water for millions of years. I promise it's not going anywhere. I promise it's not going anywhere. Just show up. That's all you have to do. Just show up. That's it. So, that being said, I'm going to remind you guys again that as I am teaching this class, tomorrow is a full moon. Today is the last day of January, the month that has lasted 734 years. Tomorrow is Imbolc. Imbolc is the first holiday in the pagan, in the year, basically. The beginning of the pagan year starts at Samhain, but that is a whole other class. Tomorrow is Imbolc. Tomorrow is the full moon in Leo. That is a very powerful combination. And then you couple it with the fact that numerologically it's a 4, that's foundations. If you have been wanting a restart, this is the moon for it. If you have been wanting to make big changes with you, this is the moon for it. If you have been wanting to do anything at all different, even if it's just, I think I'm actually going to just trim my hair, this is the moon for it. This is a moon of foundations. This is a moon of you building who you want to be. This is a very powerful personal power aspect of a moon. This is a very powerful beginning. Imbolc is about the coming spring. This is preparation. If you guys do not know how to celebrate Imbolc, you should. There are classes both on my website and here on YouTube and so on. Go research. Start making your own Imbolc celebration. Tomorrow's a powerful day, my little witchy friends, so you need to harness it. You need to start harnessing all these full moons to their biggest potential. Okay? So with that, I'm going to let you guys go and start enjoying the full moon. Okay?